Northern Cyprus is like a wild west of finances. Here, money moves differently. From no financial control over cash deposits to crypto exchange offices in every corner of any streets. This place has its own rules. In this video, I'm going to show you how people transfer money over here to Northern Cyprus and why crypto might be the ultimate tool. Firstly, let's talk about cash. My dear friends, once you decide to come to Northern Cyprus, you have to be aware that the allowance to bring cash over is equivalent to 10,000 euros per person. Anything excess that amount has to be declared, with 3 copies of the form being provided at the declaration office, with a special form being obtained from custom authorities. Do not try to trick the system and bring more cash over than the allowance, because that's not going to work. Majority of the time, that excess amount would be found and confiscated, which is not the experience that you would like to go through. So while there are limits and restrictions to bring cash over to Northern Cyprus, banking system works differently. Majority of the time, while depositing your money at a local bank, you will not be required to provide any source or proof of funds. And it doesn't matter what the amount is. Second way to transfer the money over here is a traditional bank transfer using SWIFT. My dear friends, you can transfer any amount of money from any countries across the globe directly to Northern Cyprus to your own bank account using SWIFT system. But we all know there are drawbacks. Well, first of all, it does take several days to come through. Secondly, countries like Germany are very reluctant to sending the funds into the gray zones, such as Northern Cyprus. As well as that, every single penny has to be legal with the documentation proving the origin of funds. And as well as that, there are cases where money can get stuck for months because if the financial control authorities do suspect any fraud activity or tax avoidance. In conclusion, it is possible, but it comes with a lot of paperwork and compliance. A third way to transfer the money over here would be swap transfers that are done via crypto on the background. Simple explanation for that would be it's a service where your money disappears back in your home country and the equivalent of that at the same second appears here in Northern Cyprus. And the way it works, basically you hand over cash or transfer the money into a particular office back in your home country, and the same minute you receive the equivalent over here in Northern Cyprus. Again, it's either into your bank account as a transfer or cash at the office. The mechanism runs on crypto on the background, but you do not need to understand the tech to use that service. The advantages of that, of course, it's a fast transaction, it's fully anonymous, and no documentation or checks required. The downside of it would be a high commission cost that can vary anywhere from 3.5% to 7%, depending on the country of your region, and as well as the amount and the exchange rate applicable at that particular moment. To conclude, it's a great tool, especially if you transfer large amounts of money and you don't want to deal with banks. In addition to that, my dear friends, make sure you only use services of verified, registered crypto offices here in Northern Cyprus, because those companies, they even cover force majeure situations. Avoid suspiciously low rates for the same type of service being provided by an individual, because majority of the time it's fraud. A fourth way would be a direct cryptocurrency. My dear friends, you can buy USDT back in your home country, arrive to Northern Cyprus, and cash it out in any exchange office for roughly about 2%. The way it works is that you come to Northern Cyprus, you find any exchange office, it's an instant transaction, and all you would need is your passport. The important thing is that there is no taxation for exchanging crypto into cash in Northern Cyprus. Only the transaction fee that is applied, which is roughly about 2%. But again, that transaction fee can be lowered down sometimes depending on the demand for crypto or cash at a particular office, and as well as that depending on the amount that you are cashing into. The higher the amount, the lower the rate could be. And what can you do with cash? Well, my dear friends, you can either deposit into your local bank account, and the exchange office does provide you with a receipt for the bank. Either you maybe buy a property, or possibly you'd like spending the cash outside on your daily essentials, such as cars, clothing, and groceries. It's up to you. But takeaway for the day, my dear friends, is that crypto is a universal tool, a very fast, flexible, and very convenient. Northern Cyprus is a financial Wild West. Here, you literally can buy anything with crypto, starting from an apartment, ending with a pair of socks. Minimal restrictions, minimal control. It's a financial paradise and a land of freedom where people choose their own way of managing their funds. To conclude, my dear friends, there are 4 main ways to transfer money to Northern Cyprus, starting with cash, which is equivalent to 10,000 euros per travel per person. Bank transfers using SWIFT system, but that can be lengthy, costly, and complicated. Money swaps, very convenient, but again, slightly costly. And cryptocurrency, that gives you the flexibility and a very low cost of transaction. So, my dear friends, which way would you pick? Please comment below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.